Oh, goddamn, honey. I told you if you want to borrow my truck, you're going to have to lose some weight, man. Your 400-pound ass is actually stretching out my seatbelt retractor motors. Got to go to the Lexus dealer, see if they can repair it. What's wrong with it? Hello, buddy. My name is Skippy Patel. Welcome to Punjab Lexus. How may I help you? Oh, hi, Skippy. My seatbelt doesn't retract anymore. It just stays dangling. Okay, buddy. Let me go check it out for you, buddy. Why are you looking inside of my tailpipe? Oh, buddy. So you want to trade places now, huh? Is that it? You want to trade places? You want to figure out why your car doesn't do this, when it should be doing this, huh? This is, huh? Nope. Sorry, Skippy. You go ahead and go do your thing. Let me remind you, buddy. I got a passing grade in geometry. Geometry and food safety class. Geometry is the study of shapes. This is a circle. This is a square. So, buddy, why don't you take a step back? Let the man with the passing grade in geometry do his job. No. You go ahead, Skippy. I mean, if you got a passing grade in food safety, then you're more qualified than I am to find out what's wrong with my seatbelt. So you go ahead and do your thing. Okay, buddy. So, Skippy, what did you find? So your cabin filter needs changing. Your engine oil needs changing. Your transmission needs changing. We need to resurface the magnetic surface of the differential bolt. But today's your lucky day. I'm giving you a nationwide discount, my buddy. Your total is gonna be 4,612 cents, buddy. So, what about my seatbelts? Well, buddy, we got to do the other stuff first, because the retractor mechanism is right behind the system that controls the retractor motor that is right behind the differential system, and that controls the computer. The computer controls the magnetic, and then the magnetic out the right, and then it goes to magnet, and then going in the bank that. Oh, I'm sorry, my friend. Sometimes I miss Bengali with English. I'm so sorry, buddy. I meant to say the retractor mechanism. I did it again, buddy. Oh, yeah. That sounds like the dealership trying to rape me again. You know what, Skippy? I think I'm going to try and do this myself, and I'm going to help out a few folks at home do it themselves also. Peace. Let's get started. The things that are going to help you with your installation is you're going to need a small flathead screwdriver. You're going to need a 14 millimeter socket. You're going to need a 10 millimeter socket. You need a ratchet, or I don't know, a drill gun or whatever, anything that's going to help it along. You're also going to need trim panel removal tools. Okay, these I got from Harbor Freight, super cheap. Let's get going, guys. All right, folks, you're probably wondering why I got my seat all the way up and disconnected off the floor mounts and everything like that. You guys don't have to do this. You guys, all you have to do is just move your seat and your backrest all the way to the forward position. What I did was I dismounted my seat brackets and everything just so I would have room to set my camera and have better angles for you guys to view, okay? But in order for you guys to move your seat forwards, you guys have to have your batteries connected. And the reason why I say this is because before we even start, we're gonna have to disconnect the negative terminal on our batteries. We're gonna be messing with our airbag plugs right behind the seatbelt assembly, okay? So just remember that, move your seat forward all the way before you disconnect the negative side of your battery. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Go ahead and disconnect the negative side of my battery. Take it off the battery post. Leave it disconnected. Next up, we're going to get our wide plastic trim tool, and we are going to lift up our floor pillars here. Disconnect it. Okay, and let's put it underneath the vehicle so we don't lose it. Okay, now we are in the middle row. We're gonna need to lift up this panel also. But in order to do that, we're gonna have to take off this plastic side step. It's gonna have these round plastic knobs right here. You're gonna use your plastic trim tool, put it inside the slot, and just pop these covers off. These round covers off, okay? And inside the round covers, you're gonna have a 10 millimeter, and that's where your deep socket is gonna come in handy. Your 10 millimeter deep socket Okay, you're going to unscrew the 10 millimeter. Okay, after you unscrew the 10 millimeter, you are going to have the exact same thing back here. It's hidden all the way back here. I can't bring my camera back here, but once you guys get your head in there, you're going to see what I'm talking about. It's going to be the exact same brown cover. Okay, and underneath here is going to be another 10 millimeter bolt that we are going to dislodge. I'm going to do it by hand using a 10 millimeter deep socket. Once those two 10 millimeters come out, as you can see, they're right here. Next, we're going to take the side steps out. We're going to use our plastic trim tool, pop it up. You could use your hands, they come right off. I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to want to take off the weather strip here, remove it. Be careful you don't get any of this black gunk on your shirt. It does not wash off. I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to go ahead and take the weather strip off of the driver's side also. Okay, you don't have to take it off completely. You could just take it off partially and just let it hang. Just leave it there because we are going to have to access this side of the panel. Now we're going to take our small trim tool, our plastic trim tool, and we are going to pop off these covers right here on our B pillar. Okay, we're going to put it right inside its crease here and just pop it out. And behind here, you are going to find that there are two 10 millimeter bolts. We are going to remove these two 10 millimeter bolts. Now we're going to go to the bottom of the B pillar. Okay, at the bottom of the seatbelt assembly right here, we're going to take our blue plastic strap and we're going to pop off this cover. It's going to expose a 14 millimeter bolt. Okay, there you go. Set this aside. There's your 14 millimeter bolt. It does come out. It looks like this. Next, we are going to take both hands and we're going to pop off these panels, okay? Don't pop this off yet, just take both hands, hold your thumbs onto the velvet part of it here, the top part, and hold it down and pop off the plastic panel first, okay? This plastic bottom panel comes right off. All the way bottom, right here, you got your seatbelt retractor assembly right here. You're going to have two plugs, okay? Very important, we're going to have to dislodge these two plugs right here. You're going to have to use your little flathead screwdriver to help you along. If you can't do it with your fingertips, if you have narrow fingers like I do, and it helps out a lot if you're born with narrow fingers. This one right here is super tricky. A lot of people don't know how to dislodge this one, okay? And this is why I told you you need to disconnect your negative terminal on your battery, okay? Anything that's taped yellow is SRS related, so it's very, very important to disconnect your battery, okay? So this is how you unplug this one. It's very tricky. Now on here, this yellow piece right here is, from the naked eye, it's going to look like a sticker. It's not a sticker, guys. It's a plastic tab. You're going to have to get your flathead screwdriver, put it inside the slot right here, and lift up this plastic tab. This is what locks this black plug in place, okay? You have to find every little crease under here and dislodge this plastic tab until it pops out this way towards the interior of the car. Okay. Once it pulls out all the way just like this, it's no longer in lock mode. See how far I took it out? I took it out about 1/4 of an inch. Now I'm pretty sure I could go ahead and unplug this black plug. There, it comes right out. You see that? This yellow piece right here dislodges and it comes out. Once it comes out, it unlocks this black plug. Once we remove that black plug, you're gonna go behind here and there is another 10 millimeter bolt. Okay, we are going to unscrew this. Once you unscrew it, set it aside, don't lose it. Remember, all these 10 millimeter bolts are different sizes. This one gets a long one for obvious reasons, okay? It's holding the seatbelt retractor into place. You're not gonna take a little short one, okay? So let's put that aside. Let's dismount that. Now we are gonna go work on the upper portion of this B pillar. what you're going to want to do is take both hands and you are going to dislodge it off its clips right here. Okay, this part right here, you cannot pull it towards the interior. It doesn't work that way because there's two slots right here that are hanging on two clips up here. What you're going to want to do is from this side right here, pull the bottom towards you, and at the same time, this part here, push it towards the outside of the vehicle until it dislodges from its slot. I'm going to show you what it looks like in a minute. There you go. See that? It has two slots. These two slots hang on two prongs up here. That's why we can't pull it out. It'd be useless trying to pull it out. You're going to try to pull it out all day long and it's not going to come out. This has to go outward. This piece right here has to go outward. This piece right here has to go towards the car, and you just slide it back out this way. Now we got our top portion out. Let's set it aside. Now on top of the seatbelt strap, you got one more 14 millimeter that's holding the entire thing to the vehicle. After we take this one out, we can take everything outside and I can show you what it looks like, okay? It's always good to have a little cheater bar on you. There you go. It comes out with a 14 millimeter nut, okay, not a bolt. Okay folks, now that we got our old seatbelt assembly out, we set our bottom panel, our top panel, and our used seatbelt assembly that we bought off eBay. We're going to set it just like this, okay? This is going to be the orientation that it's going to be in the vehicle. Okay, here's the bottom panel, top panel. Here's my seatbelt assembly. The top part, I'm going to put it right now just so I can show you the orientation. I'm going to choose this loop right here, this metal loop right here. I'm going to put it on the top, but it is not the top, okay? I'm just laying it out right now. Okay, this part right here, this retractor assembly right here, it's going to be facing the plugs right here. You're going to see the plugs right here, the white plug and the black plug right here. It's going to be facing towards the inside of the vehicle. So this side of the panel is going to be facing the inside of the vehicle. So I'm going to place it in this orientation. It's very important for you guys to know the orientation to putting it back, because there's a sequence that you guys have to go through to put all this back. It gets a little confusing because if you do one thing first, you're not going to be able to do the second thing because it's going to be, something's going to be in the way, okay? Another thing, guys, when you guys put this back, you guys are going to want to extend the seatbelt as far as it can go. Okay, instead of doing it on the vehicle, it's going to be a lot easier. You do it outside of the vehicle. Okay, next step, guys, we're going to look on the other side of these panels, okay, just so you guys know what goes to what. Okay, remember how we had to remove this panel off first, because this panel right here has these two clips right here, right at the middle section, that goes into these two slot holes of your top panel. Okay, it's going to snap in. It's like this. It snaps right in together. This is why this has to go in last, okay? This goes in first, this snaps into right here, okay? Just remember that. And here is the two slots I was telling you at the top of the B pillar. These two slots are going to hang onto two prongs that are hidden inside of your headliner, okay? I can't show you that because the camera won't fit up there, but I'm pretty sure you'll see it, okay? So right here is another thing that you guys are going to have to know. Remember that 14 millimeter that we took off that was part of this smiley face plate right here? This right here is going to be part of this smiley face on the top part of the trim right here. This is the piece on the other side. You got your button that's going to slide up and down, but behind it, you're going to have the smiley face template with the little hole slot right here. And this is going to be very important when you put everything back together, because your seatbelt assembly right here also has a smiley face plate right here, and it has a 14 millimeter hole right here where it's going to go inside that 14 millimeter hole stud. Remember that 14 millimeter nut that goes over here? Okay, so all of this is going to come into play. So let's go ahead and get it ready. We do not want to attach these two on together because they're going to be attached separately. Let's go ahead and take this back to the vehicle. Okay folks, our very first step to doing the installation, the reinstallation with your brand new used seatbelt assembly, we're going to take the smiley face, okay? We're going to take the buckle side of it and we're going to face it towards the interior of the vehicle. This buckle, interior of the vehicle, and the smiley face where that 14 millimeter bolt's supposed to go through, it's going to go right here, right over there. We're going to take our 14 millimeter nut, and we're gonna go ahead and screw it on here. We're gonna tighten it all the way. It doesn't need to be in any orientation because there's a spinning spacer in there that doesn't allow it to lock in any orientation or direction, okay? So you can tighten as much as you want and it will still be able to spin on you. So let's go ahead and tighten that. I'm gonna use my little cheater bar here to tighten it some more. There. After I tightened it, I went another quarter of a turn, okay? So now, this part right here, the seatbelt retractor motor right here, I have to install this at the bottom of the B pillar. Remember where we installed this, where there's another 14mm bolt down there? Well, it's not extending because the strap is too short. In order for me to extend this, I'm gonna have to do exactly the same thing I do when I'm sitting in my vehicle, okay? It's going to lock up if you tug on it right away, just like if you're getting into an accident. So you're gonna have to push it back in and out until you get the right feel to release the spring, and then it will release itself and go all the way down. Okay, so let's go ahead and install the retractor motor down there. Okay, here's the retractor motor. See, it's still locked into place, and I didn't extend it far enough. I won't reach the hole, so I'm going to have to push this back in and out until it releases itself. Now that I brought the retractor motor all the way down here, I'm going to line up the 14mm hole down here, but I'm not going to install the bolt yet, okay? The bolt doesn't go in yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move my seatbelt over, and I'm going to install that 10mm bolt that's supposed to go in this top hole right here. Just remember when you tighten this down that it doesn't shift from this 14mm hole down here, okay? You got these two tabs that's going to help you keep it into place, but just in the event that you do slip, there you go, okay? So just to do a sanity check, I'm going to grab my 14mm, make sure it spins in nice and freely. There you go. The holes line up, but I'm not going to install it right now, okay? This is going to be installed later, okay? So right now, let's go ahead and plug this in. This white plug right here, this small 4-pin is going to go inside this black socket right here. Snaps into place, very simple. Here is the SRS plug, okay? It's going to go back in. Once it goes back in, remember this yellow tab that you slid outward, now you're going to have to push it back in. Make sure it's flush. Voila, it's done. Okay, we're going to take our top panel now. We're going to take the rest of our seatbelt strap right here, starting with this black metal O-ring right here. We're going to slide it through the smiley face window of our top panel. We're going to slide our buckle through the smiley face through here. Okay, there you go. Now we're going to hold this, okay? We're going to hold it. Don't release it. If you look behind here, I got my hands holding it. We are going to take these slots right here, and we're going to hang it to the two prongs that are on top of our headliner. You're not going to be able to see the two prongs. I can't show it to you because the space is very tight, but I'm going to take these two prongs and I'm going to hang it inside of there. Once it's hung, I can let go and the panel is going to just stay into place, okay? You're not going to want to snap it into place yet because remember, behind the smiley face, I already told you there's a round slot for this lever. This round slot right here has to go inside a round nipple on the metal side of your B pillar. I'm going to go ahead and take this apart just to show you what that looks like. This is the nipple. The nipple is part of that 14mm nut and bolt that's already in the vehicle. You already tightened this. That's the very first thing that you did, remember? That right there is going to go inside of this round slot right above your smiley face tab. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's hang these two slots up first. Once we hang the slots, we are going to look between your top panel right here and your structure, and we are going to line up this sliding mechanism to that 14mm nipple. Once we got it, we can go ahead and snap this into place. How do you know that it aligned up with that 14mm nipple? Easy. All you have to do is just do this. If it slides and locks into place, you're good. See that? We can go ahead and snap this into place. So Next step is next. We are going to take our bottom panel now to the vehicle. The bottom panel of the vehicle, we're going to take our seatbelt strap, we're going to put it on the outside of our panel, and we are going to take these two tabs inside of here. Let me turn it around to show you. There are two tabs right here that are going to go into these two slots. These two slots that are part of the top panel. Okay, so let's go ahead and snap them into place. After you snap them into place, you're going to want to take the bottom part of it and snap it into place. Make sure if you have any wires running to the back or anything that they are indeed behind your trim panel and they are not pinched. Okay, once they are in, go ahead and snap it into place. Once you snap it into place, you're going to take your seat belt, okay, this O-ring part right here, and you are going to line it up with that 14mm hole down here that you left open because you didn't put the bolt in yet. This bolt goes in last. Remember that, guys? So let's go ahead and put that in now. That's your 14mm. I'm going to go ahead and do it with the socket now. Don't worry about tightening it too hard because it has a spacer in there that allows it to spin freely no matter how tight you put it. I am going to tighten it and I'm going to use a cheater bar to help me out here. After I tighten it, I do another quarter of a turn. Boop. Okay, done. You guys don't have to do those sound effects that I do. I just have Tourette's syndrome. I'm self-diagnosed. So there you go. We're done. We are done with the seatbelt assembly. Look at that. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so the rest is pretty much easy now, guys. All we're doing is putting back plastic trim panels. That's all we're doing, and we're going to connect the battery. There's one thing about the battery that is going to freak you guys out, and I'm going to show you that in a minute after I put back all the panels. Okay, so let's go ahead and start putting the car back together. Perfect. Snaps into place. So guys, the first thing I always do when I put on weather seal, I know this is about seat belts, but god damn it, every single installation I do, there's always a lesson learned, okay? So always start in the corners, push in the corners first, and then push in the rest. And then when you push in the rest, make sure the corners didn't come back out again, okay? So that is one lesson learned. I love showing you guys whenever I do a video, and it has nothing to do with this, but it's good to know because it's part of the installation process, okay? Remember, don't get the black tar on your nice shirts. Okay, there you go. Perfect. I'm glad this installation went very, very smoothly. There's nothing that pisses me off more than a bad installation is if you were like, here's a good example, guys. I was sitting across from my little sister at the dinner table during Thanksgiving dinner, and we were drunk as fuck. I think we were on like our 4th bottle of Cabernet, and everybody's chatting it up. All of our family members were having fun, and me and my little sister, we just made eye contact. It was the weirdest thing because I don't know what her eye contact meant, but my eye contact meant, let's fuck and not tell anybody. But it never happened, so it was a great Thanksgiving family dinner. Anyways, let's get back to the installation. Okay, and remember, after you guys are done with putting back all your weather seal, go back and check the corners again. Perfect. Let's move on to the next step. Snap back our floor steps. Make sure you're not pinching any of your wires running to the back. God knows I got so many things running in this vehicle. I got wires up the yin yang. I do not want to pinch anything. Do me a favor, guys. You do not want to cross thread these. Okay, always screw it in by hand. Whatever you do, make sure the first 2 or 3 threads are going in nice and smooth. If they're not, take it back out. If you can't figure it out, you shouldn't be working on trucks. Bunch of morons. Okay, here we go. Beautiful. Next step. Next one is your handles. Handles are fairly easy. Okay, the open spot open part of it is going towards the interior of the vehicle, okay? The part where you can't actually see the bolts is going towards the exterior of the vehicle. I normally put the bolts in first, and I would have to get a feel for it because they're kind of deeply insetted in here. So I'm gonna have to get a feel for it here. You do not want to cross thread these. Trust me, you do not want to cross thread them. Okay, once you get them in there, normally I would just try to grab 2 or 3 threads. Once I grab 2 or 3 threads, I let it go and start on the bottom one without tightening the first one, because the first one needs some type of slack in order to find the threads for the second bolt. You want to help both of them out. Okay, once I got them both in, okay, so this is another one of those things where the bolt actually don't keep the handle into place. What keeps the handle into place is there's 2 pins and clips on here, okay? You're gonna have to do this. Snap into place, bam! Now that you snapped it into place, you can go ahead and tighten your bolts after you understand that you already had 2 or 3 threads already tightened on each one, okay? Then you tighten it. Okay, after that's done, you put these covers back on, fairly easy. Bam! Damn, that was easy. Okay, now I'm gonna put the weather seal for the driver's side, the front. Remember, we kind of pulled it off in order to access the panels on this side. Remember what I told you guys. Do the corners first, then work out the slack. Okay, move the slack out. Hold the corners, and then put in the rest of the weather seal while holding the corners. Woo! So did you guys learn anything besides don't sleep with your sister? Oh God, I don't even know why I even told you guys that story. I have so many fantasies you guys would not believe, but I'm going to save that for my OnlyFans page. And if you guys are trying to find out what my username for my OnlyFans page is, I'm not going to tell you, but my profile is pretty simple to locate. It's the only picture of a guy with his ass up in the air. So, all right, so next things next, I had a side step right here that I didn't really show you, and I don't care to, because if you guys need help figuring out how to install these plastic side trims and stuff like that, then you guys seriously shouldn't be working on your vehicle, and you guys should just, I don't know, take up basket weaving or something. Bunch of fruitcakes. Okay, let's go to the next step, guys. Install your negative terminal back on. Make sure it's tight. All right, last step is to make sure everything is good. Perfect. You might want to do a quick tug in case of an accident. It works great. Let's make sure this buckle lines up with ours. There you go. This is for Lexus. Perfect. Used is okay for 130 bucks. Not bad, huh guys? Look at that. So we're gonna go ahead and start our vehicle, and this is what's gonna happen because we disconnected our batteries, okay guys? You're gonna get a black screen. It's gonna freak you out. You guys gonna just have to be patient and wait. What's gonna happen is it's gonna start loading the system. So you see that? System loading. Don't turn off power. It's just loading its system, right? You guys gonna have to wait a minute because the black screen's gonna be there for a minute. It's gonna freak you guys out. And there you guys go, done.